Uh,
It was a hell of a rollout.
right, yeah, hell, you know how I do, you know how I do, and so we are live right now. Sassafras. Yabba yabba yabba. Sassafras. Welcome in, ladies. So drunk from Nashville. Welcome in. What up, Matt Cat? How are boys? Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, and I'm here with my co-host,
your boy Steve. Real name, no gimmicks. Your friend till the end.
How are you, my brother? Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School, where we are the nerds who talk about all pop culture, all stupid things celebrities, writers, and creators do this week. We're going to be discussing, mocking, and ripping you apart. So if you're sensitive, get the fuck out of this stream.
Ooh, Mantis is on one. I love the energy.
I'm ready to do this. I also want to remind everybody to like, share, and subscribe. And whatever app you're listening to this on, do all the good things. Click all the buttons, man.
Click all the buttons. All the buttons. One hell of a week. We got stuff going on, man. Comic books are popping off. AJ Rebel, welcome in.
What up? What up?
Crazy, man. She-Hulk, the sleeper.
Things are happening finally again. It's almost like entertainment is finally back. Like now, it's been slowly getting back, but now like things are actually happening.
Oh no, absolutely, man. And when I say comics, Cincy Star is in the building. Comics are jumping off. I know that you and Matt don't agree with me on this, but that's okay. I'm willing to stand alone
because we have brains. I don't know what topic you're talking about, but yeah, we have brains.
Axe Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals, two amazing franchises in the Marvel Comics.
Yo, homie, I love you.
I'm not done. You don't interrupt me. You psychopath. All right.
I was about to affirm you, but whatever. Continue.
The X-Men and the Avengers and great writing has made the Eternals relevant in a way that it's amazing. I was just trying to catch up on the whole House of X, Powers of X, and then Swords of X thing. A lot of stuff going on there. Some of the most confusing stuff that Hickman and I forgot Egan or whatever the writer's name is ever been through. I'm officially all caught up, and now reading this, it reminds me of one thing. And don't even get me started on DC's Dark Crisis event they have going on there. DC just brought back some old lore. I don't know if you're up on DC Comics, folks, but if you know what the Darkness is, right? There's the one above all, not the one above all, the Presence, which is DC's version of God, and then there's Lucifer, Morningstar, which was considered in the Vertigo universe the second most powerful being. But there was another thing that happened in the original Crisis. There was a being called the Darkness that they had to deal with when the original Crisis was going on. And this is basically the antithesis.
I just can't keep track of these cosmic beings that are destroying the universe every other week.
I won't bore you much more with it, but they got some great stuff going on over there. But the Axe event is shaping up really well. Really great writing going on there. I was worried that they weren't going to be able to land this X-Men mutants deviant thing, but they're actually doing a great job. And then Game of Thrones. Giving you that shot.
Oh, yeah! I'm all about this series. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm convinced that people didn't watch Game of Thrones because of the sex and the violence and the depravity. Right. They watched it to just watch people with English accents be assholes to one another.
Yeah, of course.
And so like this last episode had a lot of talking in it, but it was still great. I loved it.
It's always been dialogue heavy and plot driven, and I think that's what we love. We feel sophisticated. We raise our pinky to the original.
Yes, that's what we want to say. I'm thinking my mind like this, bitches. Z's Coffee Shop says, "What is this? This is the Fanboy Modeling School. We do a weekly podcast every Monday night at 10-ish, and we talk about all things of fandom, whether it's movies, television, comic books, or just pop culture. I've got a lot of celebrities to make fun of tonight. You're gonna have a good time."
Yeah, it's gonna be. You're in for a great ride, and it looks like we got quite a few people in. Hey, if everyone could just do me a favor for the sake of the almighty algorithm, if you haven't already, please just come out of the comments for a second, click the like button, and if you feel so compelled in your heart, share this. Me and Mantis have been at this for about 2 years now, man, and Fanboy has been on many different nights. It's been on Spoon, been on Green Room, primarily on YouTube, but here we are podcasting like big boys, trying to bring you the highest standard of entertainment.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Matt says Dark Crisis is dog shit.
You know what, Matt? I am not able to disagree with you because I haven't read enough of the event yet, but I'm getting the feeling that Doomsday Clock was the firstborn on which all hopes were laid, right? And then the Batman Who Laughs and that whole entire thing was the middle child.
They went too hard with that, man. They were like dark metal this and dark metal that. Let's go with it. And like I'm just like everyone's before they were just like side characters in a Snyder book. You know, like it's just crazy. RM, I have no idea what that means. That's mustache rides. What is that? What are these emojis?
Quite a fanboy journey. All right, so where we starting, man? Where are we getting the shit going? What do you got?
First thing I actually had on the top of the thing, which everyone seems to be going to. If they're not going for the jugular of She-Hulk, they're going for the jugular of Saints Row, the new reboot.
Yes. Shout out to you guys. Great take in your shorts. Great take in your shorts. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, everyone hates it.
Well, it's a beloved franchise, right? And it's had some turns, right? It's had some turns in areas that people didn't agree with in the game, right? But then you do something like this, and I think you summarized it really extremely well in your short.
Thank you.
I was gonna buy this game to wait for Grand Theft Auto 6, right? The same way I watched Equilibrium and Jet Li's The One until the next Matrix movie came out. I was like, these things will hold me over. Now it's just nonsense, right? It's nonsense. I think as gamers, we are all now expecting quality first day, no glitches, good games.
Yeah, so there's a ton of glitches. That's the first problem, right? Tons of glitches, and so that's the first mistake. You can have the best written game in the world if you're at the end boss,
right,
and he's glitching out and you can't shoot him, which apparently happens in this game.
Right.
You know, or I've been watching YouTube's like all the because I haven't gotten the game, but all the glitches like the infinite being run over.
Right.
Like you can get hit and the car just keeps running you over and you can't get out of it. You have to restart the the system.
Yeah,
that's amateur. That's amateurs.
Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely reminds me of when what is this game RM will know Anthem. Right, everyone's looking forward to Anthem, man. And it was supposed to take us to the next level in looter shooters, right? And here we are, still stuck playing in Division because that game fell flat. But yeah, Saints Row, man. I've always thought the story was extremely convoluted. You called it the hip hop version of Grand Theft Auto. I always thought that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was the best Grand Theft Auto. For me, that's the game stopped. Yeah. I know everyone loves 5, but yeah, a lot of people scrubbing on this game. You know, GamesCon just dropped.
Did you hear about the soy boyism though?
No. What are those chai latte sons of bitches?
Oh my god! So this is also first there's glitches, and the other hand there's this that's driving people crazy. So it used to be hip hop GTA, right. And instead of rugged gang members who will kill you dead, right. They made them a group of soft soy boy suburban goody Gen Zers who have to pay off their student loans, and that's why they start a gang.
Oh man, this game should have came out last week. They didn't even tell them that their debts have been forgiven.
It's crazy, and that's what's really offensive to people. People are like, it's driving people crazy. It's not even funny what they do, and you'd have to see some of these clip scenes to like you wouldn't even believe what they're doing.
Listen, man, like I said, this is not my game, right? I'm not vested in it. I was just going to buy it just to have something to do. I was talking to DJ Cincy Star the other night, man. I'm trying to find time to work games back into my life. I'm going to play more video games. Obviously, when God of War comes out, I'm only going to have time for God of War in my normal streaming schedule, right? But,
you know what this does, right?
What is this?
Before we used to have in our hearts, we have our top tier games, and then there's the side game where you're like, I don't love this game, but I kind of like it. I'll check it out. It'll tide me over. Now they're messing those up.
Right.
And so it's making us kind of like gun scared or whatever, right? Gun shy to buy a game, to take a chance on a game.
Yeah, 100%. And But again, man, some of these marquee franchises, like, let me just ask you a question. Can anyone here who plays the game surmise in 20 words why they should have made this game? It's Saints Row, for God's sake. They were caught in the Matrix at one point. Did this guy or something like that at one point?
You're stuck in the Matrix in the fourth one.
Saints Row, in regards to games, I feel like the franchise should have came to an end a long time ago. There's another game, Devil May Cry. I feel like these games are par and par, right? At one point, Devil May Cry
will never end
so hard that they had an emo character. It was mad emo. Wasn't
the main character? He was straight out of Fallout Boy or some shit, or My Chemical Romance. He had his hand draped over one eye, and he was like, the F bitches, and then he's shooting off like he's got his trench coat. That was the most emo motherfucker. I didn't know Bex was such a hardcore Saints Row fan, but are you into these soy boys, or do you like it because it used to be gang culture? Because when it was gang culture, it was fun. AJ says Saints Row is such a sandbox for unrealistic gaming. Like you're watching Michael Bay. Yeah, when they went into the Matrix and stuff.
Bada bing, bada boom, big Michael Bay booms.
So you guys are saying San Andreas. To be honest, I'm going to say this: The Ballad of Gay Tony, which was a downloadable content for GTA 4. That's my favorite, and that's where the guy lives in the Heights.
Oh yeah.
He's the bouncer for a guy who owns gay clubs, and he's a Dominican guy from the Heights,
right?
And your base is in the Heights, and I was like, it's the Haven. You pop on the West Side Highway and drive down. I mean,
did you pop over to see if you could find the Haven?
Because I did. You know how they have most of the geography right, but then they don't have the details right.
Right.
Bastards.
When I played Miles Morales, I definitely swung up to Harlem to see if I can find my mom's house. I found the corner store near our mother's house, but I couldn't find my mother's apartment. Right. I was like, these motherfuckers.
Right, like they have they have whatchamacallit. They have all the opera houses down there, but my high school was edited out of the game or whatever. So fuck.
Yeah, and they have that fictitious train running through the middle of Manhattan.
That's like Spider-Man movies has in Midtown a fucking regulation football field. he gets off the 7 and there's a football field right there. I'm like, yeah, right.
Oh my goodness, when are they gonna get New York right?
Yeah. See, they act like soft Zoomers half the time. She's talking about Saints Row. The other half, they murder people indiscriminately. It makes no sense. It doesn't make me care about their characters. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, but again, not to shift too hard from Saints Row because I don't want them to catch all the smoke. If you love the game, there'll always be a person out there that enjoys even the most trash game. Everyone hates it and this person loves it. But I do want to talk about GamesCon for a little bit since we're talking about lackluster stuff. A new Sonic game came out, I don't know if you know this. Sonic has one of the most hardcore fan bases, and they were demoing the new game, and it's being accused of being lazy because there's a bunch of great stuff. It's open world, right? First open world Sonic experience, but then they recycled a bunch of maps from an older game. Right. So right there, you're going to have people accusing them of being lazy, not being inventive with their content. But also apparently while people were playing the demo, the diehards were able to surpass the demo mode lock, which doesn't let you get past the first board, and they beat it. And they're saying that this is a sign that there's very little content in the game. The fact that they beat the first board in the first 15 minutes or so of playing.
So Sonic is bizarre in that me and you grew up in the real, what we would consider the real Sonic time. Right. Yet we are not diehard Sonic fans. No. For some reason, later on, they had years later, like after we grew up, they had like cartoons, and action figures, and it was like these kids were growing up on Sonic in a way that me and you cannot even fathom.
Yeah, dude, the Sonic re-release on Sega Saturn game was lit, and then on PlayStation, another lit game. But yeah, these people are hard. They're into it hard, man. They're into it hard. But shifting back to Saints Row, man, it's not for me, bro. You know what I am waiting for? I don't know if we have any Prototype fans in here. I played Prototype 1 and 2, and if they did a third story for that game, I'd be into it. It was basically Venom on steroids, right?
Right.
Like this guy
I didn't play, but I heard great things. Like I told you, video games for me, and what up, Rogue Radio? Video games for me are Right, Matt. I think you're from the same generation as us, where we were playing on Sega, but for some reason we're not as addicted as the next generation.
They
that
love
like
it.
watched it as a Saturday morning cartoon or some shit.
Oh, Sonic on Sega had the greatest soundtrack. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, it was really good. But like, no, I hear great things about Prototype. So yeah, video games for me, I play maybe 1 or 2 a year.
Okay.
Like I have to really love that title.
Yeah, you got to be into it. You got to be
right. You know what I do like? I like that they have lesser games as downloadable content because I'll play a couple of those.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I dig it. I just think, man, when we talk about like games, right? Now, this is a game I have not made it through, but apparently the best game ever. A lot of people, not ever, one game that's really enjoyable and people love it. And I think they can end the series there was The Witcher 3, right? They said most people who've played through the game said it was amazing. And they said the DLCs were big enough to be games themselves. They got those for free. No, you didn't get it for free. You had to pay for them. And they loved it.
I remember people were trying hard to get that to be game of the decade or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like really, really love that game.
Yeah, they would try hard for real. In regards to Saint Row, they should treat their property the same way we expect the MCU and Warner Brothers. Respect the fan base, right? Start with making a game that your return fans are going to come back and enjoy, because if they don't like it, that's where all your detractors come from, right? All 80 of these motherfuckers in the basement screaming with Dorito dust on their chest, like, what the hell?
The Dorito dust is the perfect imagery you put right in there. So, I got to tell you, here's when they really messed up, because they did a complete reboot, right?
Okay.
So in the original Saints Row, their main boss looked like Sam Jackson. He was clearly meant to look like Sam Jackson.
Okay.
And he was an old school cat, gang member or whatever. And throughout your whole thing, there's a character who dies in the third one who's been like one of the main characters. You don't play as him, but his name is Johnny Gat.
Okay.
Right. And so by the end of the fourth one, or at least the downloadable content of it, it's called the downloadable content is Gat Out of Hell, and he resurrects from hell, and he helps God take out Satan. And at the very end, you have 5 different things you can ask God for.
Okay.
And like the love of his life died earlier, so you can be reunited with your boo, or you can you can do all sorts of different things. And one of them, which I think is everyone's favorite, is he wishes for a better life for him and his gang members. He's like, we've had a rough life. I wish we could do it all again and life would be better. And then he wakes up and he gets up and he's dressed like a cop. They're detectives. And all the gang members are all the Saints Row guys are detectives, and all the corrupt cops they've been fighting are gang members.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's good. That's good writing right there. Yo, Matt just said, didn't Anita Sarkeesian help with the game? Did she have her claws in this one? Did she get to commentate on it?
Oh, this would explain a lot. This would absolutely explain a lot. And so we know what a menace that woman is, right?
Yeah, she's an interesting one.
Apologies to anyone who gets offended that like thinks that she's like the second coming. I know she has her fans. Some people like she's like an important feminist. Not in my house, but
oh man. You got some juicier topics, man, on tonight.
Yeah, well, real quick, Saints Row to me is about characters: Johnny Gat, Pierce, Shandy. If they don't have them, it's not Saint Row. I absolutely agree. Well, we all know that the VMAs just happened. Who here is into the VMA? We're talking about some celebrity bullshit ass gossip. Matt says, I used to play video games, but it's gotten too expensive to do all these hobbies. To give it, and so I would actually say the bigger, harder thing to do for video games is to give up the time. When you become an adult, you don't have all this time to be, because a movie's 2 hours, right? A show's 45 minutes. A video games, like when somebody's like, I beat a game that's 120 hours, like I'm like, nobody thinks Anita Sarkeesian. Well, apparently she won a Peabody Award, actually. So I mean, some idiots in suits thinks that she's important. But yo, my man, VMAs happened the other day.
Okay. Right.
And so I know award shows will never be as important as the one with the slap. But we're going to try to make this one sound important, right?
Okay.
So the first one I got to say is Lizzo.
Oh.
During her acceptance speech, she said that she is oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what it is. I know what she's getting at.
Right.
The saying that she's oppressed. And then she says, we need to work together to stop being oppressed.
Okay.
Now, apparently a lot of people, not everyone, I think we all understood what she was getting at, but a large group of people are giving her pushback on whether she's oppressed.
I was
wondering if we could talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it for sure, man. Lizzo is an interesting character in the sense where now, if she was saying that she personally is attacked quite a bit on the internet, I would say that, yeah, there's a lot of commentary on Lizzo's posts and her behaviors. The thing that she does, a lot of the stuff she puts up on IG, and then, when people call her out on it, or when they, just make a bad take. Like, here's my thing. I'm not going to attack her because she is a bigger woman, right? That's not my business. That's between her and her health physician. I don't have any critique on that. I will say this, though. You can open yourself up to ridicule doing certain things. And she'll do something and then people will have commentary. Recently, I think his name is AJ Sparks, or I forget the comedian's name, made a joke at Lizzo's expense and the internet came raining down on him. But he's an old school comedian. He was like, I don't care if you people.
Right. So that's the thing. That's the weird thing. Because one day we understand where the bar is, or should we say the goalpost? And suddenly you look away for a second, you look back, and it's a mile away, and you're like, "What the?" And you get to the point where a comedian can't make fun of a fat person. More guys, I can say that because I've got a lot of extra weight on me, so I can use the phrase "fat people." We're taking it back. We're reappropriating it. So you can't make fun of a fat person anymore.
No, you can't.
So here's the thing: I'm fat, I'm poor. She's fat, and I'm a millionaire.
Right.
She's oppressed. I'm not. Am I oppressed?
Well, let me ask you that question. So what is the definition of oppression? What type of oppression is she talking about? Is she talking about systematic racism? Is she talking about the insidious they that are opposing her? Because those are two different things. Is she talking about the patriarchy? There are a lot of different groups imposing oppression on people. So who's she referring to?
Well, she didn't specify, and that's what people were wondering. Is she implying because of her weight? Is she implying because of her race? Is it because she's a female? Could this be a Roe v. Wade reference?
I have no idea. Listen, I just you know me, Mantis. Typically, when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready for a fight, right? I'm ready for an intellectual.
That's how you
do. Seeking discourse, DM me. But in this regard, does monetary success mean liberation? Let's get philosophical here.
Well, no, because this has been a big question about sports players, right?
Right.
And so the question is, are they oppressed if they have millions of dollars? They're driving sports cars. They get way better tail than I do. You know what I'm saying? Is that oppressed? But they're more likely to be shot in a standard pullover situation.
My critique of sports players is the same in regards to popular entertainers, right? If you're a millionaire and you're talking about oppression, but if the next statement out of your mouth isn't so this is what I'm doing to combat these things, right? And if the next statement, and it's just me, they don't have to live to my standard. It's just the lens I look at these things through. If those first two statements aren't present and they don't follow it up with the third statement, so I donate to these organizations to improve upon the situation in which I am referring to, then I just tune them out, right? I don't need my celebrities to be social commentators and bring public awareness. And they're not compelled to spend their money on my behalf. But if you are a millionaire and a billionaire, your money is welcome more than your opinion. That's just my opinion, right? You really want to show people that you're about social change? Dump a cool mill into the community, right?
And that's a good question. I wonder, what does she donate? Does Lizzo donate?
I don't know.
Is there a way we can find out?
So, and someone would say, well, that's not your business if she donates. And I would parry by saying, well, it also is not my business about her personal oppression, but she made that public. So now she's opened herself up.
Yeah, like they say in a court of law, they open the door. It's like if your side mentions something that I originally wasn't allowed to, now I can talk about it.
Yeah, now I can attack it.
Yeah. And so this is the whole thing, but she's getting major pushback. And so the question is like, what is oppression? And I don't, to be honest, right now, I would say I don't even have an idea of I don't know what the real answer is.
Well, classical understanding, right? If someone's talking to me about oppression, I look at things, 68 civil rights era, and I think about what our forebears went through, right? And what they went through in this country. That is oppression. I think about the 80s, the import of cocaine into the communities, which was distributed by people in the community, right? They took advantage of that. That is a form of oppression. But when a millionaire tells me that she personally is oppressed, I'm like, all right, well, can you give me an example? Or like, are we talking about, fat shaming? What oppression are you?
Yeah, exactly. What oppression? That's what I'm wondering.
Lizzo, we're seeking to understand, right? We want to know how you feel oppressed, right? Don't leave us with vague things, And
I'm wondering, and I'm not just saying her, and I'm not trying to say that she's a certain person, type of black person, but could she be like, or any of these celebrities be like OJ?
Oh, okay.
Remember when OJ said, "I'm not black, I'm OJ."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He said it.
And you know what it is? It is a fucking stupid ass thing to say, but we know what he meant.
Oh, we know exactly what he meant. And
I'm wondering, because here's what I'm saying. Do we really think Lizzo is going to get really hassled by a state trooper if she gets pulled over? It is very unfucking likely.
Well, here's the real question, my brother. Does Lizzo now, in fact, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all these black millionaires or billionaires, do they have rich people sensibilities? Right? They see us walking through their neighborhood. Is Jigga calling the cops on a Mantis and the Steve when they're walking through?
Absolutely. I really believe that. I'm not just being funny right here. Right. I absolutely believe if you and me were hanging out 1 a.m, we're just walking through their hood. We can't even call it a hood.
Right.
It's probably a suburb. They would call the police on us.
Yeah, and so what are we talking about? And this is the conundrum. You know why we're having such a hard, and people have a hard time wrapping their heads around this? Because it's paradoxical in its nature. It's like, what is the rich person complaining about? Right? Like, what is the rich person? How are they being held down? Now, if she would have said my record label is not supporting me the way that I wanted to, I'd say, well, what type of contract did you sign? Right? Long gone are the days where Barry Gordy and these guys were ripping off people with these bad contracts and all these dudes, man. We just need you to identify the oppression, Lizzo. We're extending an invitation for Fanboy Modeling School. We want to know who the people are who are oppressing you, and we'll get your back. And we'll
be truthful. We really just want to see her make an ass of herself on Twitter. But
oh man, there's so many people on a day-to-day basis, man, where I just say, I wish they would say, I want to formally invite you onto a debate. And I'm like, and I want to formally invite you to your public execution. Like,
oh, yeah.
I just want to do that.
Twitter is literally designed to wish that you could run into these people in real life so you could fight them.
Yeah.
What it was designed to do, right? And every day it tests me. The good Lord is testing me on Twitter.
He's trying to make you better. I want to pivot just a little bit, my brother, because we're talking about celebrities, we're talking about rich people, right? Let's talk about another rich person from the other side of the aisle. Let's talk about Andrew Tate. I meant to send this to you as a topic. You know who Andrew Tate is?
Unfortunately, I do.
So he was recently systematically banned from all of our normal table platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. They all sat down for lunch and they were like, so pass the bread and
yeah,
we getting this mulatto motherfucker, we getting him out of here today because he is
just Romanian.
He's not Romanian, he's half black.
He's just he's hiding in Romania.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna show him due respect. The allegations that are being levied against him are false. But he did say something in his video when he finally did get canceled. He was like, you know what? I didn't react to these things quick enough. And by the time they took traction, it was too late. But he has reemerged on everyone's favorite conservative-based platform. His brother and himself.
What?
He's on Rumble. Rumble gave him the bag. They gave him the bag, and now he's back. First stream, his brother Tristan, I believe his brother's name is. They streamed. Ask me how many people were in their stream. Their first stream on Rumble.
How many?
100,000.
Oh my! I believe it though, because here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm gonna say. I didn't really know him until very recently. I think a lot of people didn't. When somebody says, "Well, he has 4 million subs on YouTube," I was like, "How does anyone crawl past me with that many subs?" You know what I'm saying? I should. Like, I know people who are in the millions. You usually hear someone's name tossed around if they're in the millions. But I don't know where he got these followers. So obviously I hear he's just been hustling all these years. He's never been name dropped to me.
So I don't want to die on this hill, but I had warned people, and when I say warn people, I try to advise people that when Kevin Samuels passed away, R.I.P., that you've heard me say this, someone's going to fill that vacuum, right? And Kevin Samuels was primarily speaking to the Black community. Andrew Tate slowly ascended from there. We're talking about a guy that used to be a championship kickboxer, then was on that some reality show, I think Survivor or some shit like that.
Oh,
and then ascended through his marketing self-help group or how to break outside of the matrix. But he's got a very clever, his brother and him have a very clever marketing scheme in regards to YouTube. They are totally fine with their fans clipping their shit and putting it on YouTube. In fact, they encourage it, and it all leads back to him, right? And he's he's a certified millionaire. But Rumble gave him the bag, man. They gave him the bag. This is almost, I want to say, a week, if best, after he'd come out and put his farewell, it's the crescendo on what's that fake YouTube social media platform, Vimeo, what's that shit called?
Oh, Vimeo. So Vimeo is like a different. It's like a different. So here's what it is. It's for like actors and professionals in the video things to actually put up like professional reels so they could get hired. Mm-hmm. But people have started to use it like it's YouTube or something. But I don't think that's like they charge you to upload. They charge you to upload.
Yeah, even my sibling has all their real information on there, but. He released an hour-long explanation about, what had happened, what's going on.
Oh, because that was the only platform that didn't.
No, they banned him right after that. But I just wanted to say that because we were talking about oppression and rich people. So Andrew Tate on the other side of the table was oppressed and then went over to Rumble, got the bag, because you remember Rumble at one point offered Joe Rogan that bag. I'm sure they didn't offer him 20 million, but now he was over there, 100K, which is a very impressive number for Rumble.
Yeah,
and he's back at it, and he boldly stated they shot their best bullet at me and it didn't work. They tried to cancel me and it didn't work. And so we got to be right-sized about this. Dave Chappelle can't be canceled, right? Because Netflix didn't pay him $25 million for him to be canceled.
Right. They're not going to throw that money away.
But here we're talking about a YouTube.
Even though 12 people are protesting their building, they're not going to give it. So RM's pointing out there are a lot of allegations about what this man does.
He has admitted to sleeping with underage girls as an adult and bragged about holding girls' passports, not paying them to be cam girls. How are people saying he's in it? He said this himself. Okay, so as always, I'm gonna need the receipts on that. And I'm not an Andrew Tate stan, but they also said that he beat a woman, right? And this is the allegation that got him kicked.
I actually saw that video, and I heard him be like, his thing was like, oh, that was consensual. She's into it.
Did you see the video of the situation?
Maybe I'm thinking of a different video, but the video I saw of him slap a girl looked like it was consensual.
Yeah. So, and then he released a video of that same girl making fun of him. She's like, the last time you did it, you were like a B. She's like, are you going to go in tonight? And he was, yeah. So.
Oh yeah. No, I feel that. But these other things are being launched against him. And quite frankly, as you know, I usually am a defender of the free speech.
Right.
Which is just funny is that, so this hits an area that I feel uncomfortable with because I'm almost ready to be like, well,
Go away.
Yeah, because once again, my argument is not that anyone can say anything on these platforms.
Right.
I just think that YouTube and a lot of these platforms are too sensitive.
Well,
I mean, I'll say the littlest thing and they'll get in trouble.
Well, I understand that these are private platforms. This is where you got to be fair and balanced, right? And be objective about these things. These are private platforms. It's not representative of America. You say something that goes against their terms and conditions, they have the right to terminate you, right? What I am against is a public outcry built on false pretense, right? Either a person is guilty of something or they are not guilty of it, right? And if you're saying that they have done these things, then you have to prove it. But then if you produce something and it's not the truth, that's equally as wrong. Now,
absolutely. I think that's
the one thing he didn't say was he was oppressed. He had merely said that he had merely said that, he was being attacked in regards to these subjects. And I find it interesting, right? Like, what is Lizzo saying versus what Andrew Tate's saying? Lizzo is still thriving. Right, she's still thriving. So where's the persecution?
And go ahead. It's funny. I actually find them both. What I know her to be, and what he's being accused of, I find equally disgusting, just in different ways. So it's not just that Lizzo's like a heavy girl.
Right.
It's that she does things like she tries to go on planes with the ass cheeks cut out.
Yeah, what's that about?
And then creates a huge scene when people I think she was in a fast food restaurant and people asked her to leave.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why can't I show my ass cheeks?" Yeah. And the thing is, she knows why she can't, and it has nothing to do with being a big girl. If Doja Cat came in with her ass cheeks out, which she has been known to do, they also would have told her to leave. That's a legitimate complaint.
Yeah.
So I find her whole steez is gross. It's kind of like a gross ending.
So her argument would be that this is body shaming because if it was an attractive woman, you would say you wouldn't have any issue with it. You'd be more complying in regard to that, right?
And actually, I honestly think she's actually setting people up to cry body shaming. You go into a fast food place or on a plane with the ass cheeks cut out, and then they're like, "Well, no, you like." For instance, when she did it on the plane, they were like, "You can't sit in these seats. You have to have a barrier between that. Other people sit on those seats,
right?
Not your seat." But she was setting them up. She knew they'd complain, so then she can cry foul.
Yeah, but but we have to be careful with that type of argumentation as people of color because. So let me give you a deep look into the alt-right psyche because I've summed these people up very quickly. An alt-right person might use that and levy the argument that, well, isn't that what the sit-in people did? Right? Now, you and I both know that's a false equivalency. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But they would literally make that argument like, well, is that the same?
Actually, some of the rules of sit-ins, I remember they would be like, be well-dressed, be mindful, have manners. And they'd be like, what? I'm just eating pie. What? I'm just sitting here. Well, and that's a respectable way to protest.
Yeah, and it is. And I know there's no real comparison, but I know that far left and far right would say the same thing. Like she's just having a body sit-in, right? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Who is this improving the quality? How is this changing the psyche around it? Listen, I'm officially at the place where you want to be a certain size and you feel like you're being persecuted because all the data says that you're at risk about something. That's your business. But don't make it my business by asking me why I don't want to see you in assless chaps. You ask a question, I'm going to answer it. I don't want to see your flapjacks and fucking chaps, dude. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's gross. It's gross no matter who's doing it.
What did Beck say here? Beck says, do you think it was the black community that uplifted him, though? Like how they did Kevin? Actually, interesting take. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. The real power behind the Black Manosphere, if you don't know who that is, go look him up. He did a great video where he was like, black men tore down Kevin Samuels while white men uplifted Andrew Tate. And then he had to do a correction video because he's like, hey, I didn't know he was half black. But he's like, I just want to say that a lot of white men embraced him and lifted him up while black men tore him down. So I'll leave you to make your own moral decisions about that. In regards to Andrew Tate, right? Andrew Tate is the perfect case, just like Lizzo, to make you question a lot of things. I see RM is bringing up the underage thing, and I want to say publicly that Hold Up TV believes that 21 is the appropriate age for people to make sexual decisions, not 18. Because when you're 18, you're still fucking a kid, right? You're still
right.
But RM, one thing you're not taking into consideration, and I'm just saying this because I think I know what you're talking about. What country did that happen in? And do we respect the laws of other countries? Because if Andrew Tate was in a country that said
16 is all right, like if it was probably Romania is that country.
And I'm not condoning it, but it's like this is the stuff I'm talking about. So we're arguing like morality, and we're saying we shouldn't force morality on people. But often that argument falls flat as Americans because we're like, well, no, this is right. Well, Romania says this is right.
Right. No, I feel that. I absolutely feel that. I need to invest in, and here's what it is. The reason why I just feel unequipped at the Andrew Tate argument, because I only have hearsay. I've only seen snippets of his thing. I would have to I have to see the receipts on everything before I make a full thing. But what I'm saying is, literally, I will see people who usually at each other's throats, a Democrat and a Republican in the same fucking room, and they're ready to kill each other. And then somebody says Andrew Tate, and they both look and they go, that man is the devil. And it's the one thing they'll agree on.
Right. I agree with you, but I just want to address that what RM said. Now, RM, I love you like I can't say a fat kid loves cake. I love you like a diabetic
not
loves
on the Lizzo episode.
I love you like a diabetic loves cake. I want you to take in consideration one thing, RM, and I would agree with your point, but if we were to be consistent across the board, I would then say that anyone that is teaching a certain religion and practicing certain principles from the Hadith, they should also be exited from YouTube. And if you don't champion that, then why champion against one guy?
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So why are certain things all right and other things are not? Right. And if someone were to go in here and be like, I'm making videos about Sharia law, they would not touch it with a 10-foot pole.
No.
Or let's say, I guess we're not allowed to use the G word anymore. So somebody with predatory behavior, as it is with young people, but they feel they have a special standing because of their sexuality or gender identity, YouTube won't touch them.
No.
And I agree with you. I mean, like, it should be standard across the board. And why are some things okay and other things aren't?
Yeah, exactly. Exit those people. And then, I said this once on an episode of I Guess We Can Agree on That. And we'll get back to the nerd stuff now. This should be the last part of this political dark statement. But I said this on I Guess We Can Agree on That with DaVinci. You know why they don't do that? And I'm sorry to all my liberal friends out there. I'm going to say something, and this is a pill for you. And I want to say this in the most intellectual way possible. Mantis, I'm going to use college level words here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Liberals don't have the balls to go after Sharia believing Muslims on YouTube. They just don't, because it creates another paradox. It's like, well, wait, these are people of color, and I don't want to impose my belief structure on them. I'm like, okay, but you didn't have any problem with that.
Right. No, it's the whole Islam was right about women thing.
Yeah, exactly.
When they had the flyers. Exactly. For those who don't, in a super liberal college town, somebody made all these flyers that say Islam is right about women, and he put whoever did it, the prankster, put it up all over the town, and people are calling the police, and then people are filming this, and the cops come and they're like, "This is obscene," and they're like, "What's obscene about it?" And you see the people like not be able to answer because they know why they're being offended, but if they admit why they're being offended, they're not very liberal, are they? Because in order to explain why they're offended, they'd have to then talk about something they're unwilling to address.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And again, like, here's what I'm saying. I'm not defending, Andrew Tate, but I want to shift it right there, right? I want to say, are we not Americans? Are we not enlightened Americans on this YouTube platform where we don't want to impose our belief structure on anyone? But someone tell me what the age of consent is in Romania, right? I want people to be consistent And then how does your review really play out? It's difficult. It's a difficult thing.
And actually, I want to address RM right now because RM says right, but again, it's a privately owned company where he's talking about these things. They say they don't want him talking about it on there. Okay, so I want to address that because that is one of the most commonly used and not thought out arguments toward anything in the world. Right. At no point ever did Steve or me or anyone in the world ever say they don't have the right to kick who they want off of their platform.
I actually said they do.
Right. And so they do have the right to do it. However, we have the right to complain about it. We have the right to say that's not cool. Absolutely. And in no way are we taking away the rights of ownership of Company Way.
I'm saying it's not consistent by their own terms of standard. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I will send you 5 links from content creators who have more than 100,000 subscribers, more than we have at this time, who are from a certain religion that say things very similar to Andrew Tate. And guess what? They're not banned from Facebook. For the love of God, you know how long it took Twitter to ban the Taliban?
I'm surprised they even did it, but I know for a long time they had the Taliban.
I'm assuming that they did.
Putting up recruitment flyers on their tweets. Yeah, they're like adding school kids recruitment flyers for the Taliban.
The principal argument there. We're in the boardroom. They're like, Andrew Tate bad, Taliban okay.
It's totally crazy. You have 100,000 subscribers. Yo, we're all gonna do it. I'm feeling a good energy in the air.
I feel a good energy.
I feel like we're gonna take over these platforms.
It's the time of the people who take content creation serious, right?
I can be the next Andrew Tate.
You could. You kind of look like him. Now his accent.
Nobody clip this. Please.
It always free. You know what, dude? If we went full black conservative, you know how quickly our numbers would rise. Like if we were like talking heads like Candace Owens. Like we would go, like we'd be paid right now. All we have to do is do one episode like that.
Yo, let's do it. Let's do an episode of Fanboy where
I'm not ready to go there. My mother still lives in the hood. I'm not trying to.
Yo, my man, you don't understand. Honestly, the topic we should actually talk about right now is brokenness. Okay, I'm the brokest motherfucker right now. I'm like looking through pillowcases to get bus fare. It's rough. So right now, I'd pretty much sell out about anything. I'm not up to gay for pay, but I am like the other sellout. If somebody's just like, you want to do a commercial for a hardcore conservative, whatever, I'm like, yes.
I'll take it. I'm a grifter.
Yeah, I'm a grifter. And then the next week, when a trans group wants me to do an ad for them, I'll do that too. But right now, like I said, I will settle for a warm place to take a crap, which I do not have.
You not have a warm place to take a crap? You're inside right now.
No, I'm kidding. We don't have heat here. No, but I'm saying it's hard out here for a pimp, man. It's hard out here.
Speaking of hard out here for a pimp, this is a good pivot into one of the greatest reused terms in the show. So She-Hulk episode 2 said, "No more drinks for me. I'm balling on the budget." Great term.
Great line.
What'd you think of episode 2 of She-Hulk?
Yo, I really liked it. Now, once again, low on action.
Right.
Wish there was more action. However, the comedy hits, the jokes. I'm getting the point of the show. It's a short half an hour sitcom, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, no. At no point did I LOL. I didn't laugh out loud, but I loved her interactions with Bruce. I wasn't too upset with the fight because you and I both know that Hulk could literally snap She-Hulk's neck. Like there's not, he could literally grab her and just snap her neck. But I wasn't too mad at that because she didn't actually, like dominate him in the fight or anything. I love the courtroom dialogue. I love the part about her, being unemployed and what that drudgery is.
I'm feeling that.
Yes.
Because I'm at the point where I'm taking interviews and like, I'm a likable guy. And somehow I'm interviewing and still not getting the jobs. I'm like, you walked into this interview not wanting to give me the fucking job, didn't you?
Well, it's the ultimate example of gatekeeping. That's the real.
They're like, look at this thug. Yeah, that's another thing. I'll tell you that in terms of gatekeeping, True Radio looks at people who do podcasts as lowly dogs.
Well, here's the thing, because they know that it's taking over the space that they dominated for so long, right? They know that. Here's a real good example of how radio, radio is dying. It's not doing as well as it used to. When you have one of the best, not the best, one of the most viewed or listened to shows, The Breakfast Club, willingly uploading their entire show onto YouTube, that's something that they're like, okay, people are responding to the podcast space, right?
Right.
And of course, there's going to be a pop with podcasts. But, let's all enjoy the ride until then. But let me ask you this question. The Abomination situation in She-Hulk 2. What are you thinking about the trial of that? Because I thought that was great. I love, what's his name? Tim Robbins? What's his name?
Tim.
What's his name, Matt? What's the guy's name that's playing it? He used to be on a great show called Liar or Lies or something like that on Fox. That was amazing. He was like a body linguist where you could read if people were lying. I thought
remember, he's the guy who robs the diner in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Tim Roth.
Everyone be cool. This is a robbery.
That's not my favorite scene in Pulp Fiction. People love it, and I'm almost ashamed in public settings, not when I'm safe behind my mic, another black man behind his microphone, right, Beth? In public settings where people are like, it's the greatest scene ever. I'm like,
which scene? When he robs? When
he jumps up, they're like, that's the best part of Pulp Fiction. I'm like, I don't know, man. Actually,
it's a great part. You don't think it's a good part?
I think it's great. I don't think it's the best part of the movie, though.
I love it when he's got the gun on her, and he's like, now go in the bag and take out my wallet. And he's like, which one's your wallet? And he's like, the one that says bad motherfucker on it.
No, embroidered. But I remember having to listen to so much hip hop with that sample and everybody be cool. This is a robbery, and I'm like, oh man, can we just get past this? At any rate, we digress.
So what I think is really lawyery and really good is, right. And I never thought about it like this, but when he's telling the story and suddenly she looks at him and she goes, wait, something the government gave you made you act like this? And he's like, yes. And so he clearly has a case.
Yeah, it was like Law and Order, but good. Right? It was all I thought that was great. I loved every part. Now, I love every part of leading up to it. I actually really enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I know that the show is dog shit. I know that Matt is not gonna enjoy it. I am pleasantly surprised by She-Hulk. I have not at any point wanted to just turn it off. And obviously, we got a couple of cool Easter eggs, and that's what I want to get into, right?
Right. And before we do, real quick, my one actual consistent complaint is that the special effects are just not up to par. And
she doesn't look good.
Yeah, when it's even, it was better when she was with the Hulk, but when she's with real humans, I'm like, oh, she's not real.
No, I mean, don't be fooled. This is still really good work for people who are doing this. This is like, but it's just, it doesn't, the lighting or something like that.
I just wish they did some sort of practical effect. You know what I'm saying? Like if they got like a bodybuilder chick, paint her green, and they later on
nobody wants that. Nobody wants the Lou Ferrigno shit. You guys can kill me with that fucking.
I'm telling you, a talented director could do it, but these motherfuckers are lazy.
No visual arts medium is gonna make a bodybuilder chick believable. Nope. Nobody.
Yes, I'm telling you, man.
You're the same psychos that wanted like a bodybuilder friggin' Wonder Woman, where she's never been represented that way in the comics.
No, wait, hold on. I don't mean like a super vain. I don't mean a veiny bodybuilder. I mean just a bodybuilder, but like,
you know what? You're a sexist. You're a sexist. I bet you any amount of money you didn't support She-Hulk when she did look like a bodybuilder in the comics.
I didn't. I was very against it. No woman should look like that. It's a travesty. Disgusting. God damn it, Marvel. I'm supposed to be turned on by these goddesses. I'm disgusted. Get it together.
Matt just doesn't like them too frumpy or too muscular.
I went in the comic book thing, in like the 2010s. I went to the comic book shop and I was like, oh, Avengers. I said, who the fuck is he? I was like, oh, that's She-Hulk.
I'm like, wow, Samson completely green. Actually, count your blessings, man. Thank God we haven't had Doc Samson yet. I have hated that character for so long. Are you telling me, on top of everything else I got to deal with the unrealistic science of gamma radiation, even though we all know that the Celestials were retconned to make superheroes. Have you heard this before? Do you know why Captain America didn't die when he got this the super soldier serum, or why Bruce Banner didn't just get tumors after being exposed?
No. Oh wait. Well, you're telling me this is with the Eternal shit?
Yeah, the
Eternal shit.
So the Celestials basically engineered humans to
not
be
Eternals. Yeah, so
yeah.
They fucked with their genome, and that's why 616's humans are able to get bitten by radioactive spiders and not get cancer.
Exactly. Oliver, welcome in. This is your first time to the stream. Please,
Oliver, welcome in.
How you doing? Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School. Hit that like button, Oliver. Help us out.
Matt says, no, the best scene, Samuel Jackson in the apartment. Say what again, motherfucker?
That's the best scene. That's the best scene.
I love it. He's like, are you Marcellus's wife? What? Are you Marcellus's wife? No. Then why are you fucking him?
I know his breakout movie was Reservoir Dogs, and I'm not pooing on it. I don't need Tarantino fans up in here with their asthma pumps trying to get angry at me. It's so good.
I love it, movie.
But I really
up in there too, yeah.
I really do enjoy True Romance. That's my favorite Tarantino joint. Sorry.
So Matt thinks Abomination has no case.
Well, he had a case up until the point where they showed the footage, and I'm glad that they looped back and tied that in with Wong, the new Nick Fury of the MCU. Yeah, he had a case until then. How are they going to explain that away? When does the new episode come out?
Of what?
She-Hulk. The shit we're talking about.
Yeah. She-Hulk drops Wednesday mornings, really like Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. So
okay.
So tomorrow morning we will have one. I ain't saying it's a good show, but I'm not saying
tomorrow morning is Tuesday.
Well, I don't know who I am or where I'm at. Do this shit right now.
Broke poor Mantis, man.
Matt thinks Abomination has no case. He made the leader inject him with Hulk blood, making the Abomination. However, it's only what you can prove in a court case.
Right, Matt.
You need to be able to prove that.
He made the leader inject him, but the government prior to that gave him the initial injections.
Yeah.
He was on loan. He's a British man. He's not up on all these hip American laws. They're taking advantage of his poor British mind. He wants to Downtown Abbey.
I think that he is higher tier than Miss Marvel. I'll say that.
I will say that She-Hulk is a better show than anything I've seen with Miss Marvel. It's probably I'm gonna go this far too, man. A lot of people might get mad. I think it's better than Moon Knight. Like thus far, it's better than Moon Knight. Like there were times when I was watching Moon Knight and I was like, am I making myself enjoy the show, or am I actually enjoying the show? Like, I gotta be real with you, man.
Matt, I do believe what it is. The Incredible Hulk is so forgettable, nobody remembers it. But yes. The people with the surnames of both the leader and I think Ty Burrell, is that the dad from Modern Family? I think he played. I think he played Doc Samson, but he didn't have powers yet. But he was in there.
Wait. What are you talking about? Doc Samson
in Incredible Hulk. Both the leader and Doc Samson are there, but they just haven't gotten their powers yet.
Yeah.
And the dad from Modern Family plays Doc Samson.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? That guy was clearly not Doc Samson. And what we don't want No. He has no case. I can't wait to show.
Oh, I think he's getting away with it. I think he is getting away with it. I got my money on the Abomination getting
No one wants to see Doc Samson represented in the MCU in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know why you hate him so much. He's not even that important a character.
Guy with a green ponytail, and that's
yeah, he's only kind of gamma irradiated. Come on, man.
Yeah, just enough to be in his Sassone ponytail. Let me ask you a question, man. So, Hulk takes off. Spoiler alert, and in the ship, right at the end, what's going on there? So, a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be World War Hulk. I want to remind everyone that Universal owns the rights to the
live action Hulk. Yeah,
live action Hulk. So the MCU, their arrangement with them is they can never have a movie solely based on the Incredible Hulk. But
I think we're gonna get tidbits of a story. That was just a way to get him out of the story. I think.
I think so too. But then I stopped. I circled around. like Universal is the company that brought us the last Fast and Furious movie and this Jurassic Park movie. They might be ready to play ball. They might be falling on the Sony line where Marvel.
No, the thing is, Marvel doesn't want to split the take. So, because what it is when they made Incredible Hulk, they would have made money, but they had to split it with them. And they were at the end of the day, they didn't make money, and they were like, "No more Hulk movies."
Wait, you talking about the Ang Lee Incredible Hulk?
No, the one after that. You know, the one that came out around at the same time as Iron Man.
Yeah, Edward Norton.
Yeah, that one that would have made money. You know, they would have made a profit, but they had to split the profits with these guys, and they were like, "Fuck this shit."
I watched that the other day. Actually, still not what I would consider a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think its major sins are like the CGI is a little dated. They could update the CGI, and also it's Edward Norton instead of this dude.
Yeah, Edward Norton's. He's good as an extremist and as someone that could possibly blow up a credit building, thinking that's going to collapse the credit system.
Right, one building. One building. Hello, Rob. Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School. Hope you're living the dream. Yeah, that's the only way she's winning the case is because they can't call the Hulk as a witness. Right. That's perfect. That's a perfect side. He's going to get away with it. He's going to get out.
Matt and Mantis, what did you think about Bruce? Well, okay, so before I go there, so you agree we're not going to get World War Hulk. We're not going to get.
They already gutted part of World War Hulk for Thor. Ragnarok, so I don't think that's a doable story anymore.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people in the rumor mill or commentators saying that he's going to go back there and he's going to find out that he has a child, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. In what medium is that going to be represented? Because they have not announced anything with the Hulk, right? They don't have anything on the table. You think they're going to show that on She-Hulk? Like there's going to be an episode where he's just going to be off on Sakaar? And it's not like it's not undoable for Disney. No. They did turn one episode of Boba Fett into the Mandalorian. You could make that argument, but I don't think
that would I don't think they have that sophisticated writers, so I don't think they're going to do that. I think he's going to come back after a few episodes and be like, wow, that was crazy hanging out in Sakaar. You know what I mean? It'll be a joke.
Yeah, it's stupidness.
Sorry about that, Rye.
So let's talk about the Easter eggs.
So, a man gets into a bar brawl with blades. Or what do they? How is it phrased? I don't forget how it's phrased. But.
Blades coming out of his hand or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, a reference to the fight scene from the first X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
So, do you think that is just a mindless Easter egg, or do you think they really will? Because remember, they're getting 9 episodes. Do you think they really will cameo a Wolverine?
They're not going to cameo a Wolverine. I don't think they would waste it on She-Hulk. And I hate to say this, I think it was a mindless Easter egg acknowledging, hey, we're ramping things up. We're bringing in your
right, but it's gonna be ever so slow. I agree with you. I don't think they have the balls to bring in Wolverine.
Yeah.
No. You know what the rumor is who's gonna come in at the end of the series?
No.
So here's the idea. The idea was that we're gonna introduce the Fantastic Four each in like different movies, and supposedly the Thing. Like she gets a client that she can't meet or doesn't want to meet her in person. He just is sending her messages, and at the end, it ends up being the Thing.
I'm not mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that either. I think that would be cute. He's also a funny character, so we'd fit right in, right?
I've always hated the Thing just because I feel like he's almost entirely useless, except for being like a morality plot device. And it's like Ben Grimm was able to beat the champion. Not really, but because he stood up to him, even though no one else could beat him in a boxing.
Right.
I'm like, this is nonsense. I would prefer Sue, Mrs. Fantastic, to make the cameo. That would be a better one. You think that's too feminine?
No, it works. I would love it. I wonder what she would cameo in though if it wasn't this. I feel you. Well,
wait. We know we're getting Daredevil.
Yeah, we're definitely getting Daredevil. But remember, this is 9 episodes. But then again, here's what it is. WandaVision burnt the shit out of me.
Yeah,
because we thought so much thing was happening.
I kept warning him, like, no Mephisto, no Blue Marvel, none of that stuff is happening.
I thought Grim Reaper, Wonder Man, AIM, and Mephisto were all going to be in it. I felt like they were Easter eggs for them. You know what is the worst thing in the fucking world? You know what the worst? I'm sorry for cursing tonight, guys. I'm very passionate about this. This drove me nuts.
What?
In the second episode of WandaVision, when it's the cartoon introduction that's supposed to be like Bewitched, when you slow it down,
you see the Grim Reaper.
You see Grim Reaper's helmet inside the floorboards.
Right.
And that is crazy that they just didn't have him in at all. They put that in for no reason other than to piss me off.
Yeah, it was directed at you. It was amazing how you guys all jumped on the Mephisto bandwagon. I was just like, yeah, I don't. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, this is like, I kept trying to tell you, it's like it's House of M toned down. I was like,
here's what it is. Here's what the problem is, because they have a hard on for Catherine Hahn, and I love her. I think she's cool. But honestly, we all know that Agatha Harkness is not a real villain in the comic book. No. She's in there, but she's not majored anyway. She's like some old
fake Alfred.
Yeah, she is basically the Alfred of Mephisto. She should have started out as the villain, and then she worships some demon in the basement, and that be Mephisto. Mephisto should have been the end boss.
Or you could have just stuck.
You yawning at me, motherfucker?
No. Or you could have just stuck to a Chthon, right? Why does it have to be? I guess Chthon is like for the initiated, right?
If you don't know Mephisto, and Mephisto's the one who made her kids.
No, it wasn't Mephisto. It was another demon.
No, you're wrong. It's a pieces. Here's what it is. In the beginning of whatever spell she did, it might have involved other demons, but it turns out that they're actually parts of his soul.
Yeah,
later on he takes them back.
Yeah, no, he has them on puppet hands. I'm almost convinced, and I'm going to look it up afterwards. You could be right. I have to acknowledge that you could be right. I'm almost convinced it wasn't Mephisto, but you could be right. I'm saying, why not bring Chthon in, the actual source of chaos magic, right? Why that would have been a much better. I just knew that you guys were going off the deep end of this stuff, man. And now you've not been the same.
So many things drive me crazy about WandaVision. It is insane. So, okay. So in the in Scarlet Witch and the Vision, or Vision and the Scarlet Witch limited series, when they're in the suburbs, there's an episode which Buffy rip off of. By the way, there's an issue where the Grim Reaper gets a medallion that allows him to turn children into whatever their costume is.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
And it has the children attack them, and they have to fight all these demons, but they can't kill them. And so the fact that Marvel was already advertising all these Halloween episodes, I was like, it's gonna happen. Grim Reaper's coming, right? And then so also remember with the hexagons.
Yeah,
the hexagon is the symbol of AIM.
I know.
It's their symbol. When they wear the yellow costumes. Marvel characters, good guys, call them beekeepers. They're like the beekeepers are here, and there's a beekeeper in it.
You need to seek therapy about this, because the next thing is it's going to go to the Nexus, and then we're going to get into Boner or whatever his name is. You're clearly not over it.
Why did they do this to me? Why did they do this to me? I'm just crying about all the potential.
No, I don't think Wolverine's going to be at the last episode of She-Hulk. I think it's going to be more in line with what you're saying, man. Speaking, are we done with She-Hulk?
Do you have any thoughts on Wolverine? You thinking he's not coming now?
No, I don't think he's coming next, man. But I wouldn't be mad if he showed up, because then we'll finally figure out what their vision of Wolverine is. I agree with so many other YouTube commentators, but something I recently heard Rob from Comics Explained say, which is when Wolverine's written correct, just like Batman. He didn't say that part, but I'm saying it. When Wolverine's written correctly, it's a very interesting read, right? When we're getting into, the tragedy beyond just a tough guy brawling stuff, there's great content there. But I would love to see who the MCU is going to have represent Wolverine. And I am so anti PG-13 Wolverine. You know why Logan worked so well? Because we finally got something where it's like, okay, this guy's got unbreakable claws.
One of the greatest bloody scenes in any comic book, I would say, is Wolverine coming out of the Weapon X chamber and murdering everyone in the complex. And they made that a PG-13 scene in the first Wolverine.
Bro, don't even get me started. The entire Weapon X arc, that story, I remember reading it as a kid and just looking what they put him through with the programming. I think that might be when I really became a Wolverine fan. I was just like, wow, this was extremely beautifully drawn,
Yes.
And it was a well written story. I thought it was amazing.
Marvel Comics Presents, man. I was addicted, man. Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah,
and they'd have a different thing, and they eventually focused on Wolverine for like 2 years or something.
That was great.
Weapon X. But like, I honestly, when people eventually do remakes of things, like they'll be like, I'm going to do this one right. I think eventually when they redo X-Men, or when they redo, not this time around, not Feige's X-Men's are Disney pussies, but I'm saying down the line, there's going to be eventually a reboot of X-Men, and there's going to be a reboot of Avengers, and I think they're going to do a lot of these characters that they did wrong correctly. And I think the way to do Wolverine is his opening movie should be, you're right, Weapon X.
Yes.
A naked savage in the forest killing animals to survive. And he gets captured by the government, and they torture him, and they turn him into a killing machine. You
got that wrong. You mixed up the story. He was not naked when they captured him. He was an operative for Department H.
Okay, no, wait, hold on. You're mixing up your stories.
No.
What you are stating is the correct memory, but in the 90s, the Weapon X story had him be a naked savage.
No, he was a naked savage after he got captured. He was a naked savage after
he wasn't naked at first.
No, he wasn't just some naked guy and was like, that guy looks like he's got.
I remember Weapon X had way too many naked scenes.
He was, he's an agent. They find out that he is the guy for the compatibility for that blah, 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 all that stuff. And then it picks up with the story of that we know that he's being, bonded to the adamantium. And they have the great scene where they're trying to level him up. So first they have him fight like a jaguar or something like that.
Right.
Then
he's wearing the helmet and he's like,
yeah. And then he finally.
I just don't know why they didn't give him pants.
Well, that's what scientists do, man. Scientists want to see everyone. They're just like the liberals, man. They want to see everyone out here naked, like Lizzo with their ass balls, man.
That's like drop your pants and cough. And I'm like, no. And they're like, this is about my claws.
You're not a physician. You're a gas attendant. What do you mean, drop my pants? I think so far we digress way off the path. I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes of She-Hulk, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm having a good time. I'm gonna
actually before we leave this whole thing, we got to talk about a certain person going off the deep end, and that is that Star Wars girl.
Uh-oh.
So I actually sent RM pictures of that. She is posting multiple hate videos about She-Hulk a day. She just hates She-Hulk so much she's going nuts on it.
That's amazing. She's not even that deep into the MCU, so I'm not going to take away from her opinion. But I wonder how
she's having an episode. I think she needs her Lexapro.
I think some of that is to try to get back up in the algorithm. But I enjoy her car wars, some of her content. I just want to go to her IG and see. Wait.
Matt, are you still in the house?
Matt's still here.
Sorry, Matt. Is it all right? Is it all right if I tell everybody what you did today?
What did he do?
My theory that Star Wars girl is mad that she didn't get to be Jennifer Walters. She's a crazy hot. She would actually look like a good. She would look like a good She-Hulk.
She's too short.
CGI.
Too short.
So I'm on Twitter.
And
suddenly I got a tweet alert and I'm like, what's going on? And then I see picture of Matt standing in front of what looks to be an action figure. It looks like one of those Marvel Legend, things. And he has tweeted at Grace Randolph. And somehow, and Matt, we're going to talk about this at some point, he's made an action figure for Grace Randolph. She's wearing that crazy blue jacket she has in the poster for her channel. And her add-on, she has 3 issues of her Suburbia comic, some chicken nuggets, and the friggin' the clapper thing that they have at movies that she has on her thing, in there. And I was like, and he's like, I made you an action figure, and I'm like, you're a toy maker, Matt? What is going on?
That's amazing.
How did I not know you were a toy maker? You're a toy maker?
The blue chicken.
Yo, it's crazy. It was crazy authentic. Like he put some real detail into that. Oh, it's all right because they're basic bitch names, RM. Jessica and Jennifer, right?
Oh my goodness. Some Jessicas and Jennifers in your life you're still dealing with?
I mean, they're all the same, but so they're all the same. But no, she's Jen, right? She's Jennifer Walters, right?
Yes, Jessica is Jones.
It's Jessica Jones and Jennifer Walters. Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So since we're still here, I don't think we're getting any of that stuff that any of these people talked about. I don't have evidence contrary. So it's just my opinion. I don't think we'll see Jessica Jones, obviously, in She-Hulk, right? Right? There's no point. How are you going to work that in 20 minutes? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm saying like if every story's, I could see her like bumping into Jessica Jones or something.
How?
Well, maybe she has a case that she's like somebody was like, I hired a private eye, and then she has to go visit the private eye, and the private eye is Jessica Jones. Boom. Okay. Boom. I should be made writer. I should be a writer. I should be a Marvel writer because
you're the writer of Eternals too. They're like your punishment for your criticism.
Oh, I could fix that franchise. First opening scene, half of them get killed by a giant fucking space robot.
You're gonna be gnawing at your fingertips into their nubs, like I can't make sense of it. I'm a man of many hobbies. I'm working on a Granny Goodness from the Snyder.
Wait, hold it. How do you get the molds, man? How do you do it? Matt, how do you get the mold? I'm so curious on this whole scene.
Trying to think. All right, so I don't know if you want to get into some rumor mill stuff. Do you?
I love rumors. Let's do it.
Andrew Garfield, disgraced, returned, triumphant, proved to be the superior Spider-Man. Do you agree?
I agree. He's the superior Spider-Man. They need to kill Holland and bring. No, I'm kidding. Maybe that's extreme, but no, they should give Amazing Spider-Man a third chance.
Right.
Have Spider-Gwen come in there. That'll be a good time. A lot of people want him with Venom. I don't care what villain he gets.
I don't want him in the Sonyverse. If we want him to make it work, you know what they should have done at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home? If they really wanted to get Holland out and they just wanted to try some different, how would you have felt if they universe swapped Garfield and Holland? What if the spell was instead like, hey, I can't reverse this. You have to go.
I at a personal level, I would like it, but as a writer, I'd be disgusted.
Why so?
Because I hate it when silly things like spells, like swap out characters. That's why that's one of the things there's many things I hate about the Flash movie. But the idea that he's going to do timey-wimey stuff and Ben Affleck's going to turn into Michael Keaton. I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
You love this movie, right?
Which movie?
Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? You don't like timey-wimey stuff. At what point did you suspend your critical thinking to say, oh, Doctor Strange was supposed to be casting a spell that made people forget?
Wait, did you
somehow tapped into multiversal power?
Do you remember the controversy of my review on that? I gave it a B and it pissed everyone off. And they said that you said you love it. I said, I love it because of nostalgia, but the script was nonsense. None of this shit made any sense. Like, how does a spell that makes people forget you accidentally turn into a thing that makes your worst villains come from other dimensions after you? That makes literally no sense.
Magic, man. Beetlejuice, man. Beetlejuice.
It's nonsense, man. I don't fall for such shenanigans. However, the nostalgia was just too good not to love.
So
another thing. What's his face getting the teleporting ring, and like in Doctor Strange, it took Doctor Strange mad long to learn how to teleport. And this kid wears the ring once, and he goes,
"Oh, I've always had a response to this, but I always forget it." Right? You know why Stephen Strange struggled with it? Because he was a rational thinker. It wasn't that his understanding of magic was lacking. It was because he was still struggling with being a rational man trying to wrap his head around the concept of magic. Whereas Ned is a fool who probably believes crystals can heal you from ailments. So he was like, okay, makes sense.
Yes, I think you're right. He has a magical mind, if you will, right?
He has a magically unemployed mind.
Like he believes like throwing a coin in a wishing well actually does something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. So RM, here's what I got to say, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm very egotistical about things, especially my editing skills. Mm-hmm. I believe that Amazing Spider-Man 2 at its core is a good movie, and I can edit it down to a good movie. I could take a half an hour off that movie and it would be good and you'd like it.
Didn't you and Zeus bump into Emma on your way to the movie or something?
To the movie, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. What did she say to you? She trying to make you or anything?
She was with a bunch of friends. None of them were Andrew Garfield. I was like, yo, what's up? Why are you hanging out with these males? she had a gang of males with her. But so basically, guys, I got press passes for Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I decided to take my friend. And I'm not press. I didn't even have a YouTube channel back then. It was I knew somebody who worked at Marvel, and they were like, yo, check this out. And they let me tour Marvel, and I met a bunch of people on there. And then they gave us the passes, and then we were going to go drink at a bar before the movie starts. And then we are right around the corner where the press release is. We go around, and there's Emma with like four dudes, and they're laughing and they're chilling. And we go, Emma, what up? And she's like, yo, what up? I'm sure she was like high or drunk too, because she was like, yo, what up? And we were like, we're about to go see a movie in a minute. And she's like, yeah, enjoy. And we were like, that's crazy, bro. And then we went, we had a couple drinks, and then we unfortunately went to Amazing Spider-Man 2, which ruined the night.
Like that bitch Emma. She didn't warn us.
Well, then she, when he stopped being popular, she left Garfield. She left him.
I mean, yeah, but Andrew Garfield, man. Actually, I forgot the name of the movie that he was in when he played like a Catholic priest, and he went to Japan, feudal Japan, and he's like not feudal Japan. He went to Japan. He's like sharing the gospel. He's looking for Liam Neeson. I forget the name of the movie. It was. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor in like serious stuff. Yeah.
He was the breakout star for me in this movie. Like, I gotta be honest with you, man.
Great. I always liked him. I really don't think he was a problem with any of the franchises.
No.
He's my favorite Spider-Man. I think I can edit. I think if I had an editing room and I had the different audios on different tracks, I could edit Amazing Spider-Man 2 to something people would want to watch.
The problem is Sony. Sony was the first DCEU, and it's just like, no, we can make it better. Like they're bad at this, man. But wait, before we get too far off the rumor mill, so rumors are speculating, swirling. Go ahead, brother.
Real quick before that, and also on the edit thing, I actually have taken literally the time to watch not the Snyder Cut, but Batman v Superman, and I've taken notes. I've literally written down every scene and organized them and reorganized them, and realized I could take about 40 minutes out of that and make it mostly a good movie. The only bad part of the movie would be
Wonder Woman. Who?
Martha. Remember when the Martha thing? You can't undo the Martha. You can't edit out the Martha thing. You have to have the Martha thing in it.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that.
That would be the only bad part. But I'm egotistical enough to say I could make the good movies out of both those movies.
Greatest scene in that movie is Batman murking people. I remember the moment he killed the first person in that movie. I was like, the Batman just killed someone?
It was real. It was real. It was
on. Andrew Garfield. Speculation that Sony may have and may still have something brewing in regards to what we saw in the post-credit scenes for Morbius, obviously bringing Michael Keaton out of the main MCU universe into the Sonyverse or the Sony Spider-Verse. Some people are speculating that they're going to be building up to a Spider-Man movie over on Sony. Then other people are saying that they're going to have the Spider-Verse event, MCU, Sony combined. Either way it goes, people are clamoring for Andrew Garfield. And apparently with the re-release, of No Way Home with extra 15 minutes, it's reported, allegedly speculated, that there's a scene where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield are talking in character and say to each other, Garfield says to him, we should do this again. And Tom Holland's character responds, we definitely will. This is the speculation. Now, by the rules of film, the director's cut is not canon unless it's the Snyder cut, right? So,
hello, D. Welcome. Long time no see. So I would say, here's what it is. I have headcanon. I have headcanon. You have headcanon. The children out in the forest have headcanon.
I've had no relations with Nick Cannon. All right, I don't know what you're trying to insinuate, right?
I know about you guys. But no, I'm saying we all have headcanon, and I think the only way we can make any sense of these franchises is we have our own personal headcanon.
Okay.
So I reserve the right to acknowledge a director's cut. I know what you're saying. Like, Feige won't accept
your words. I'm spinning your words back on you.
What?
You don't believe that director's cuts are canon.
They're not.
Okay.
But a boy can wish, right? A boy can wish.
They can wish. They can wish. Not too loudly, or you'll be censored for hate crimes.
Yeah, they're just looking for a way to get me off YouTube, those fuckers.
But continue. So what do you think about that, man? What do you think? So you're going to see the re-release, right? I'm summing up 2 topics because I know we're at the 1:30 mark.
So I'm going to go see the re-release. You are right. Why would they bother having Morbius and Vulture in another dimension, not in Tom Holland's dimension,
right? If
they weren't going to do a movie in that dimension,
right?
So they must be reserving that for something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're going to reboot the Garfield. Nobody wants to see Tobey Maguire's bad back having ass back as Spider-Man, and I don't care to see him. But I would, I might, if they make some tweaks to Morbius and Vulture having a full-on mech suit at the end of the movie coming from another universe. I don't know how that happened. Tinkerer.
That was nonsense. That scene was the most. It was. You were right. The problem is Sony, and they just destroyed themselves every time. Matt says real quick, and then I'll leave it. You don't have to mention this, but one scene I loved was when She-Hulk was Jen and with her dad.
That was a great scene.
With my daughter. It was I really liked seeing her family, and they were zany. She had the stupid cousin, and I liked the end credit scene when the cousins are getting her to do shit with her super strength. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Lifting up the car, bringing in water jugs for it.
Yeah, I think that's funny. I think that's cool. Great. Warner Brothers insiders are reported saying that Zack Snyder's Justice League never should have happened since it further divided the fan base against the studio. However, I think Variety are a bunch of haters, and they've been proven to be wrong. So they were the ones who said Henry Cavill would be at Comic-Con. Never materialized. Look at that, because there is a conspiracy against the Snyder Cut. So Variety can, pardon my French, suck my dick. And the Snyder Cut is where it's at. Any questions? I'm fielding questions. And Steve doesn't give me warning when he does this. He just walks away, and I'm like, okay, I'll just talk to myself. But but no, I'm all Snyder Cut. No objection, says D. And another thing is, I gotta say, what are your thoughts? Oh, we should ask this dude right now that he's back.
I'm sorry, my son fell asleep on the couch. I heard him snoring, so I just had to get him comfortable.
It's fine. I was talking real shit about you though. Henry Cavill. We're hearing rumors suddenly today. People are like, Marvel wants to hire. We've already heard this. These rumors have been going on forever. Marvel wants to hire him. Right. Do you think that Dan Lin is going to do a Man of Steel 2? Or do you think that Henry Cavill's going over to the other side? Now, there are confirmations that he did a cameo scene, or he filmed them early August, and nobody knows what film it's for, but it was just a small amount of role. It was a small amount of Supermaning.
I don't think Cavill wants to come back, to be honest with you. I think that he doesn't see the DCEU as a viable way to build his brand anymore, and he might be right in that assumption and dealings with them. And just think about how many times we've had a new head of the DCEU in the past 2-3 years.
It's pathetic. They are cursed. The devil has cursed them.
As an objective guy, so I don't think it's so much. They could be very well approaching him. For them to bring him back, money talks. Obviously, I think he would come back for the right dollar amount and the right vision and direction. But at this point, I don't think he wants to be a part of the project. Now, obviously, that's just my opinion, but I just don't see him wanting. And to hell with what Grace Randolph says. I don't think Henry Cavill is banished to the world of Netflix. He chose to do The Witcher, and it's wildly popular. right? Shows her bias. He chose to be in Mission Impossible, and he was a beloved character in that movie, right? And people even want him to be brought back. He can't be, obviously, but they want him back somehow. I don't think he wants in on the DC.
You know, which sucks is like with Ben Affleck leaving, and if Henry leaves, what is the point of having Wonder Woman there? She must feel so betrayed and just cheated. The poor woman.
Now, if they could fix this, if they could just get back to it and fix this whole thing, man, I would definitely go see a Ben Affleck Batman. I would have taken that over. That
would have been the movie. It could still be the movie if he was ever willing to do that.
Get Ben Affleck back in shape, man. He's with J-Lo. He's in a good place. The bottle is clearly down. Right. This is the time to pack on a bunch of muscle.
That white bitch was ruining his life, but now he's with J-Lo. Things are better for him.
Jennifer Garner had been out the picture for a little bit.
But she ruined him. She fucked him up.
Yeah, she tried to get him sober. Who the hell does she think she is?
Yo, artists are never good when they're sober. That's what I just, stay drunk, guys. Stay drunk. I'm saying if you're in the arts, but RM says, where are the fans who are rabid Joss Whedon Justice League fans? Who are they? I don't think there is anyone who will defend him. That's why it doesn't work. Joss Whedon literally doesn't work in the industry anymore because of that movie.
Yeah.
And also touching girls, but
he brought us Angel, man. Still watching. I'm just about to wrap up season 1. And I was like, God damn, that was a good ride, man.
Everyone has their time and their place,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like Abraham Lincoln,
and he's totally done now.
Dead. So next thing, do you feel like Disney is going too far with the cash grab? Re-release of Spider-Man, re-release of Rogue One. What's it called? Rogue One.
Rogue One. And actually, they're saying if Spider-Man's successful, they'll do one for Doctor Strange too. Yeah. And it's getting people. They need to back up. They need to stop making Disney Plus series for a little bit, and they should just focus on making really good movies for a little bit, for time being.
For a time being. Well, they can't do that. They're knee deep in Disney Plus, so they got to keep the content flowing, right? And also, you remember, this is fast starting us, so we don't have to do another 10-year saga, right? I was explaining this to someone else the other day. If it wasn't for the Disney Plus shows, we'd be strapped down for another 10-year saga of the multiverse saga, which I'm not here for. Like, let's get to it. I'm not sitting around for 10
me
years.
And you will be dead by the time the next saga wraps up. But what I'm thinking is, like, aren't these Disney Plus series like just alienating fans and making people want to watch it less?
But are they, or is it just a very vocal portion of the internet? Okay, let me be fair. I enjoyed Moon Knight up until I think it was like the 5th episode, and I was like, all right, what the hell is going on here? Didn't watch Miss Marvel because I didn't watch it.
You didn't miss it.
And I enjoyed WandaVision.
And we like She-Hulk, but a lot of people don't. Like the very vocal people are against it.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, I think they need to back up and just like figure their whole shit out.
Yeah, I think that in Comic-Con, and I'm not standing for them, was the first sign of them saying, okay, this didn't work. Phase 4 was not good. Sorry, we had
he bailed. He just suddenly bailed. It's so fun. That was so funny.
But I think we forget that there were some good things in Phase 4. You enjoyed WandaVision. You enjoyed Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. A lot of people enjoyed that movie. You enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I enjoyed it up until Sam's speech. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I enjoyed that show. I was like, oh, it's like,
you're saying his speech at the end or his speech in the beginning?
Yeah, speech at the end.
Yeah. There was that was too SJW.
It was too heavy-headed. It wasn't written well. Yeah. What else came out? Obviously, I think I said Loki. I enjoyed Loki. I thought that was a masterpiece. So we've had some gems in the Phase 4.
Their movies have been, for the most part, garbage.
Yeah, the Eternals, not the best. What else?
I didn't like Thor. Like, I don't hate Thor, but it's really not. It's not I wouldn't say good. I wouldn't put it on the good card.
Coming to Disney. It's coming to Disney Plus. I'm gonna rewatch it, give it another chance. But they butchered the Gore Butcher.
They butchered that story and too many jokes. It was just like Shang-Chi was all right.
I love Shang-Chi. I love watching that movie with my kids. We always have the best time. That's definitely because I'm a parent, but because my boys love that movie.
Black Widow subpar.
Horrible.
Eternals horrible. Spider-Man once again. not good, well written. At least at least like a crowd pleaser, right?
Yeah. So, at any rate, the re-release. Are you going to see either one of these movies and films?
Well, you know, it's funny. The re-release is coming out this weekend, and of Spider-Man. Saturday is Cinema Day.
What's Cinema Day? I mean,
that's all movies are $3.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
What? Where is it?
Look, check it out. I believe it's either Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday.
Okay.
But like across the board, every movie is $3
in your area or the great state of New York.
America. This is It's a national Cinema Day.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So make sure your theater isn't going to try to cheat you or whatever. Make sure they're really doing it. But I think I'll go to the theater for no reason other than just Cinema Day.
I feel like trying to get my Cinema Day tickets is like we try to order a secret burger on the McDonald's menu, and they're like, "We don't do that here." I'm like, "I know you do it."
Yeah, exactly. They won't do it for you because you look shady, and they won't do it for me either. Like I'm just like, come on, bro. And I look them dead in the eyes and I say sea bass, and they say, "What is that?" I'm like, "The secret password." And then they call security. Like it's crazy.
You're like, that's not how this works.
See, Matt's there for Cinema Day. Matt, Cinema Day is Saturday, right? Saturday the 3rd, I believe.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what I can do.
Yeah. So if this is when they release the Spider-Man, that would be perfect. $3 to see the director's cut. I'm there.
Absolutely.
Damn, dude, I'll fight the theater manager if he says this isn't true. No, it is true, man. It's true, man. That's why you need to come to Fanboy Modeling School, because we know what's up, man.
We're knee deep in. It's another good episode.
This is another great episode. I also had, but we don't have to really get into them. Artemis 1 failing. NASA.
Oh yeah.
This is why Elon Musk is awesome. Everyone hates Elon Musk. His chips at least leave when they're supposed to.
Well, NASA's like New York taxi cabs.
Yes, exactly. It's ridiculous. And then Sam Hyde, aka the Irish Candyman, wants to fight Hasan Piker. You heard about that?
Yes. You said the Irish Candyman?
That's his nickname.
Like, which handyman are we talking about?
No. It's not from the movie.
Okay.
There's another boxer. There's like an American boxer named Candyman. So they call him the Irish Candyman.
Oh, gotcha.
He's only called Iron Man he's only called Candyman in Ireland.
Okay.
But yeah, so I just think it's funny.
You're at 4.
He's some Irish roughneck, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill this Twitch motherfucker. Who's a pussy? Who's a straight up like,
Hasan?
Hasan,
man, isn't he? That dude just looks like he just like comes and ruins the party.
Ruined the party. He's just mess, man. Dresses like a dirty hippie, bringing up all these crazy liberal talking points when it's like not cool.
I'm trying to enjoy my burger, man. What's going on?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, meat is murder. It's like, oh god, who invited this dude? Wait.
Too many seats at the diner. You're like, bro, it's a 4-seater. What are you doing?
Son's Piker is a little bitch. I could take him, and I'm 5'4" and $150. And we're manly. Yes, absolutely. He's absolutely the most pathetic display of a man ever. And it's and obviously he's hiding. Son is a big man who works out a lot, but he will never box someone because he's not a real. I mean, he might be physically a big man. He's definitely not. No, he's a bitch. There's just no way I can believe it. No matter how much he works out, he's probably those muscles are probably just for show.
You just gotta take him to the ground, man, and show him your rear naked choke. Get him in a triangle, like that'll be so hairy. He starts sweating the hair sweat on you, and you're like,
I don't want to touch that. I'm gonna beat him striking. I'm gonna strike him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's face it. Liberals can't fight. So come on. We all know this. It had to be said. I'm sorry.
The malnourished. They don't get enough sun.
Yeah, they only eat beans for protein and stuff like that. And like they just Rye says a 2-year-old could beat him. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. I'm sorry, I'm yawning.
Yeah, it's late. It's absolutely late. We started late. Thank you everyone for stopping in. This has been a great episode. I've had a lot of fun.
Anything to promote? Anything you got going on this week, brother?
I'm trying to get my mental sanity together. I have so much. You know what it is? I have so much I have to do in terms of like getting a job. Like I'm at the point where I'm life is miserable, really miserable for being unemployed. My life is 10 times more difficult now.
Yeah.
Because of debt and all these other problems. And I just have all these people who have obligations or need things from me or need my time. And it's driving me nuts. And I'm kind of losing my mind at this stage of the game. And so I'm trying to be polite and nice to people. I feel like they're not understanding. When you tell your friend, you're you should come out. And you're like, well, I'm broke. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll keep it cheap. And you're all right. And then they go to an expensive restaurant.
Yeah,
and I said when to keep it cheap, I meant $1 menu, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I meant to walk by the park, stopping at the gutter dog,
eating ramen on a fire I make in the park.
Does it make me a scumbag in those situations where they're like, "We'll keep it cheap"? I'm like, "All right, so you're paying, right?" But I always, when I'm in that depth, I'm like,
legitimate. That's I don't say that, but I wish I had the balls to say that.
It's going to be better, man. You just come work for me. Let me be your boss every day.
I'm good.
Rewarding my authority over you.
Good stream, guys. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you for stopping in, Matt. Thank you. Always a pleasure. I just did an episode with Matt, but I really need to do an episode with Matt about because I only just found out about his toy making skills.
I need to see it. I need to see it, man. I need to see
it. Go on Twitter. Go to his Twitter. It's crazy how well it looks that it's made.
I'm gonna go on Matt's channel right now to get to his Twitter. Unfortunately, I just realized I brought up Star Wars Girl, and I'm telling you, man, she really does look like she's like an ex of yours. Like it just looks like someone that I would have to be like.
She acts and looks like my type. Yes, so she is my future ex-wife, I think.
Tomorrow night, Conversations That Matters is back, but it's not live. Got a great episode that I'm pre-recording because I want to have a more serious conversation without the bother of live chat. And we're finally going to be tackling that hard topic that I talked about, whitewash versus thug culture. Put a nail in the coffin on this one. It's going to be myself, DJ Cincy Star, and my good friend Alvin Eddington. He was the first interview I did on Conversations That Matter. Obviously last night, Princess Bex premiered her show, Pillow Talk. Had a great time over there. Pillow Talk. Bex chose not to be honest, and then she chose to be very honest at one point.
I wish I had seen it. I heard it was just on an inferior app that most people don't visit.
It most certainly is. It most certainly is. It's called Green Room.
Yeah. Look at Matt. Matt says they're not toys; they're action figures. There's a difference.
And then we got DJ Cincy Star Thursday and Friday, host of Request Box Live on Thursday, and then Friday, Foo Fridays for us. Feed you.
But yo, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Fanboy Modeling School.
Peace.
Until next time, ciao for now, bitches.
Don't you ever